How about that for hijinks? Here we are, one and all, with the Indie Horror TV after the movie. And a big thanks to Rob for hosting this and doing this. And thank you guys for tuning in. I guess we broke a record tonight. So that's very, very cool. Greatly appreciated for you guys tuning in, and all you guys probably with your pants off. Kill it with fire. You know what? Kiss my ass. Magna Ryu, whatever sort of voodoo hieroglyphics your name is about. But anyways, thank you so much. Girl Who Played with the Dead was a movie that I started working on probably in January out of nowhere. I did a movie called IDS Rising, which was the third Incest Death Squad movie, and I did that in 2012. I think we premiered it in like October or something. And I had a lot of stuff going on. So I said in 2013 I wasn't going to do anything, which was a horrible lie. Because I wrote a movie for Ted V. Michaels called Paranormal Extremes: Text Messages from the Dead. I finished my movie for Derek Carey's Hole in the Wall, Ed Gein DDS. I did that in 2013, and I welcomed my daughter into the world in 2013. So I didn't make a feature in 2013. I stayed true to my word. But once we got to 2014, man, I was ready to go. So I kind of wanted to do a movie. I don't have a lot of time, with my schedule how it is. I had to do something on a timeline. So even before I had the script done, I had the release date done, which is today. And here we are, man, with my IKEA lighting, and we got a little diet soda for the working man up in this motherfucker. So let's dig in, guys. Give me some questions here. Let's have a good time. Hopefully you guys are smoking some grass and drinking some brews and doing the thing. So Tito Cavendor, I hope I said that right. How come the soundtrack wasn't thought about? I think what Tito's asking is, why didn't I try to do a soundtrack initially for the movie? Because I've never had any interest in a soundtrack. Everybody's always complimented the music, and I've been very lucky with the music. I mean, the first movie, I had bands like Elephant and Buried Future from Madison. In the second movie, El Valiente from Madison, who's kind of like a spaghetti western experimental sort of band. They did a lot of the music for it. Mediatrix, I used a lot of Public Domain blues stuff. And for IDS Rising, I did some stuff myself, but I've never had any interest for it. But if you guys really want one, man, let's do one. I'm pretty sure all the bands would be into it, and all the musicians. Brian Bethke did the intro song, and then the song that plays over when Kristen's starting to freak out. Brian Bethke, who I played in a band called Necromancer with way back in the day, way back when I had hair and didn't have to wear hats all the time, when I was a little bit thinner. Brian Bethke, a very, very talented singer-songwriter, and he gave those songs to it. So it's been a really great, opportunity for me to put these bands in there, but also to have them really enhance the movie. And of course, White Trash Presidents, my boys, Dennis and Magnus from Sweden and Denmark, they gave me music when they were the band Star Rats for Incest Death Squad 2. They gave me music as White Trash Presidents for this one. So, dude, I never thought about it, man. Honestly, I never had any interest in one. So now that there's interest, honest to God, if people want it, man, we'll do it. So let's see what else we got here. Wolfpack Leader says, congrats, Cory. I hope you have the bat ready for when she starts dating in about 15 years. Dude, in 15 years, I'm going to be 53, and I have no qualms about spending the last 15, 20 years in a jail cell if she brings some dickhole home. So, yeah, dude, I'm ready. Wolfpack also asks, so Cory, being as you are a director of exploitation films, what do you think are the best ones? I've seen a lot of them, especially grindhouse ones. What ones do you recommend? I grew up on a steady diet of John Waters and Ted V. Michaels, Herschel Gordon Lewis, Ray Dennis Steckler. Exploitation movies. I think the big thing that's going on now is it's a little too self-aware. A lot of the exploitation movies, they they're kind of in on it. And for me, I've always said that the biggest thing is that these people in these movies can't think they're making, an exploitation movie. They have to just believe that they live in this world. And, it's kind of the, wink, wink, ironic, self-aware exploitation movies that are going on today that I can't stand or watch or make it more than 5 minutes through. But as far as the best ones, exploitation movies, man, the Ilsa movies are great. Jess Franco made some great exploitation movies. Of course, Herschel Gordon Lewis is probably the king of those. And nobody made a campaign ever in history like Ted V. Michaels. And actually, if I could turn my giant Mac around, up here on my wall, I have the certificate of assurance, the Spend a Night in the Grave, from Corpse Grinders, and I think it's the Embalmer, and Undertaker and his pals. I have the actual certificate of assurance that people had to sign before they were allowed into the theater from Ted V. Michaels. So I have a couple of those framed. So I love that stuff. And, I've been lucky enough to write for Ted. I wrote a movie called Demon Haunt for Ted. I wrote an Astro Zombies movie for Ted. And now I wrote Paranormal Extremes, Text Messages from the Dead, which Ted has wrapped on, and he's doing the editing and such now. So probably later this year, maybe even for Cinema Wasteland, Ted will have that thing ready so we can maybe screen it. So yeah, dude, I mean, exploitation movies, Deranged is a great exploitation movie. I even look at movies like, that came out in the 80s boom, the VHS boom, Boarding House, Sledgehammer, stuff like that is really good exploitation films. So for me, it's kind of the directors, Herschel, Ted, John, Waters. I'm first name basis with these guys. Miami Gal says, get your shotgun. Will do. Laughing Bones, if you could reimagine any Three Stooges short into a horror film, what would it be? Wow. God damn it, you got me. The Three Stooges actually made some horror shorts. One was in 3D with Shemp, and it was called Spooks. I would reimagine Spooks. There was some pie throwing in that one, so we could get really. We had the cake fight at the end of Girl Who Played with the Dead, so pie fight is probably next on my list, right? Actually, I go to video stores now, like Family Video, and I go up to the guy and I hand him a movie and I say, "Does this have a pie fight in it?" If he says no, I say, "Good day, sir." Derek Carey wants to know, what is this, the city dump? Derek, I'm tired of the chicken and the pizza, and I'm a very, very laid back guy. But questions like this and everybody coming in, I'm sorry. I need a break. Derek Carey, who was a amazing writer, director, editor, who is basically the guy who kept the movie Swamphead going. And has also worked on Hole in the Wall, which is a all Wisconsin horror anthology. My movie, Ed Gein, DDS. Yes, a doctor of dental surgery is in that. But Derek just did one called Legend of the Axe, which stars Blake Braxton, who was Satan, and Greg, who was Marcus in this, and was Jeb Wayne. He just finished that up, and I got a chance to see it. And it's absolutely fucking brilliant. And I watch. That's the kind of thing, where I watch that and I wish that I had made it. I wish I had that sort of thing in me. So please go on Facebook, Hole in the Wall film, I think is what it's under. But Derek Carey, yeah, he's a genius, and we do Wasteland. I mean, Derek and I are basically kind of lovers. And that's okay, because Wisconsin lifted the band today. So fuck yeah, man. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. I'm losing chat here, man. You guys are going too fast. Those two movies are awesome. Never saw the certificates. Wolfpack Leader said always wanted to. Man, go on tedvmichaels.com. He's got them for sale. He has boxes of the actual original certificates. So just go hit Ted up, drop my name. You'll be in good. LP Dan Fall 26. If you could go into the past, I'm guessing, what would you tell yourself to do differently on your career path? God damn it, man. What are you, my mother? If I could go into the past, I'd tell you something different on a career path. I think take more sexy cheesecake pictures, more cosplay pictures, be more of a scenester, try to make more money. I don't know. I would tell myself not to get into television. I worked in television for many years, and I would have said never, never go into television. It's a soul sucker. It's a piece of shit. But yeah, I think that's what I would do. I went back to school, so it wasn't a matter of, me getting to a certain point and saying, you should go back to school, young man. I did, and here I am. The girl who played with the dead is what my education got me. So tell my $50,000 student loans that girl who played with the dead. We're set to go, man. It's the Poconos coming up. Indie Horror, my buddy Rob, I'm guessing, asks from Twitter. Kyle Crow asks, what are some of the projects you have in the pipeline? Holy mackerel. Hole in the Wall, Derek Carey's the anthology is coming out. That's on the way. That's basically done. I have 2 movies in that one. I got to edit the other one. Got to get on that. Derek and I don't know. I think I'm going to go into this. Derek, I'm going to go into this. Derek and I were talking. We are huge fans of the movie Black Roses. If you guys know the movie Black Roses from the amazing John Fasano. And Derek and I went back and forth, and we were talking about, there should be a Black Roses sequel. And we came up with this brilliant kind of treatment for the for a Black Roses sequel. We sent it to John Fasano, got his blessing, found out who owned the rights to Black Roses, and the guy quoted us a ridiculous sum of money, and there was no way we were ever going to get that to do the Black Roses sequel. So we took that idea, and we're working on something called Vox Satanas, about a female black metal band. We're not rushing it. We want to do it right. We can't make that movie for $2,700. So that's on the way, and I'm also working on a Lucha Libre vampire movie with Paula Dwerksen, who starred in my movie Mediatrix, wrote Mediatrix, and of course with Blade Braxton. So that one, who knows? We're working feverishly on all of this stuff. So there's a couple of things, but the one thing that's for sure is Tom Lodewick will be reprising his role as Jeffrey Dahmer in Jeffrey Dahmer OBGYN, a short film that I'll be doing sometime. I don't know. It's not written yet. So that's what's on the way. And hopefully Ted V. Michaels has another script for me to write, because I love doing that. Magna Ryu wants to know, so Cory, you have any more work for me? Yes, I have a wiener that needs some love and attention. So please get on that. What is your highest rated movie? Metro 2001 says, what is your highest rated movie? God, man, I don't know. That's a good question. For me, my highest rated movie is Mediatrix 1, and this one number 2. I love Incest 2 as well, but I think everybody with my stuff is kind of split. I think some people love Incest 1, hate Incest 2, can't stand Incest 3, love Incest 3, love Mediatrix, don't get Mediatrix. So I don't know, man. Like I said, anytime I make a movie and then we do like a cool thing like this, like a premiere, and then I get the DVDs back and stuff, I always say it's out of my hands. Today was the day that I actually divorced the movie and handed it over to you guys. And I know somebody in the chat room had said something about, oh, it was all a dream. And I basically said, I don't know, was it? It's up to you. You decide. So it's your movie now. Enjoy it. Baron Craze, the great Baron, says, Sick Twisted Delights, very good film. Is there anything you wanted to put into the film but couldn't or didn't do due to financial or time available? No. Actually, this was the first one that I didn't have to cut like 14 pages out of. We did basically every single thing that was in the script. I wrote it going into it knowing that I would have about 3 days. We shot this movie in 2.5 days. I think our days, we had like 2 11-hour days and one like 8-hour day, and everything was shot. So no, I wrote it going into it knowing, my budgetary constraints and my time constraints. So no, I didn't have to leave anything out of it. It's the first movie I never had to leave anything cool out of. Let's see. Wolfpack Leader says, pay attention to what Cory says. Those are all awesome movies to start with. Thank you, my brother. I also recommend Love Me Deadly, also Driller Killer, Torso, Night of the Bloody Apes is a killer, man. Grindhouse releasing movies, yeah, dude. Executioner, yeah. I think he would go into banner making. You know what, Mark? Suck it. Richard Pruitt from Twitter at Craving Humor asks, Great movie. Thank you so much, my friend. That means a lot, man. It really does. I can't wait to see more of your work after hearing the ice cream line. What would be Satan's favorite flavor? I think jizz or cunt flavored. Knowing, yeah, I think it's a jizz flavored. Blade, get in there. Blade would probably have a Ben and Jerry's flavor titled All Night, or Who Wants to Be Lonely, or Tears Are Falling. So yeah, I think that would be it. Probably jizz. Don Danger, my buddy Don, man. You've worked with some amazing talent in your films. Who that you've yet to work with would you like to have in your upcoming projects? And I went into this on the DVD, which, wait a minute, hold on. What the hell did I do with it? Oh, here it is. So there it is. Jesus, can't see it. But anyways, the DVD, man, just got it today. On the DVD, I do like way too long of a Q&A, and I went into it. Burt Reynolds is my guy, man. You know, even today, he's feeble and fragile, but he's still Burt Reynolds. And Burt Reynolds has always been my favorite, man. I love Burt Reynolds. So that's a guy I would give anything to have in a movie. Tito wants to know, what's paying your bills right now? My wife actually is paying my bills right now because I am a stay-at-home dad. I'm a full-time dad. I worked in TV, but my wife and I had tried to have kids for a long, long time. Wasn't working. Nothing wrong. Spent lots of money to figure it out, but we got my daughter's adopted, and we were at a point financially where one of us could stay home, and it was me. So I get bored a lot. It's hard sometimes. I'm on Facebook a lot. I take naps. I do a lot of shopping and dishes and laundry. And I make these goddamn movies. So that's what's paying the bills right now. I do some voiceover work for the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board. Shh, don't tell anybody. I do that, so that's a little supplemental income. And the movies don't make me any money. I just spent $512 today on 200 DVDs. So hopefully you guys want one, and we'll buy one at incestdeathsquad.com. But yeah, that's what's paying the bills right now. Derek says, yeah, Stroh's flavored. Stroh's before hose. Where did the line fucking mongoose come from? This is for Movie Maniac for Mark. Where did the line fucking mongoose come from? Was that an ad lib? That was all Greg. When Greg Johnson shows up on set, you just let Greg Johnson go. And if he has an idea, 9 times out of 10, you roll with it. If you don't trust it, shoot it both ways. And sometimes you find out that it does indeed work. But that was all Greg. Let's see. Indy Horror wants to know, do any of your films have distribution? Either way, what have your experiences been with distributors, potential or otherwise? I have actually turned down a lot of distribution, and not. I mean, I'm not saying that I gave IFC the finger. I'm not the Soskas, and I don't have big entities like that knocking down my door. I mean, I'm talking about like Troma and Tempe and a few other smaller distribution companies. But it always comes down to reading these contracts and just seeing. I mean, the Troma deal was 30-year rights to turn the movie over. There was no guarantee of a release date. There was no guarantee of anything. And I love Troma, and of course I love Lloyd Kaufman, and Lloyd Kaufman has done a lot for me. But for me, some people might say, wow, your movies are shit. Well, guess what, man? They're my shit, and I want to keep them. So I've never had a distribution deal that I was really comfortable with. And so I haven't signed anything. The only thing I've done is if you have a Roku box and you have Get Scared TV, I gave them the third Incest Death Squad movie, IDS Rising, to screen on there. And we've done a couple of online things, but otherwise, no, I've never signed a distribution deal. And I've, for these movies, I probably never would. If Vox Satanas or the Lucha movie, are a little bit bigger, then maybe we'll talk some turkey. Then maybe somebody bigger will be of interest. But right now, the distribution companies that get in touch, with me, or that I get in touch with, or that show interest, worthless. I can do it on my own, man. And I'm able to do this, and this is more important than saying such and so distributed my movie. I don't give a shit. I don't need a tag on it. So that's it. Tito says, thanks for your honest answers. I'm not a hot chick, but could I be a star in one of your movies? If you'll show your pee-pee, you can be in the movies. Or if you'll travel to Wisconsin, I'll put you as a drunk at the bar. Yeah, that's where I put everybody. Anybody says, I want to be in your movie. Like Neil, the great Neil Miller, who our hearts go out to. Neil recently lost his mom, so we love Neil very much. And Neil is always around on my movies. And he played the guy that was confused by my joke at the bar. And we love Neil. But I always put Neil in situations like that. So if you want to be in the movie, you can be a drunk at the bar. And you can actually get drunk. Wolfpack Leader, any plans to put The Girl Who Played with the Dead on VHS? I'm old school like that. Dude, Wolfpack, for Cinema Wasteland in October, I will have a very limited run of the movie on VHS. And hopefully, I haven't heard back from Ken and the guys at Wasteland yet, but hopefully the movie will be screening there. But yeah, if you're going to be at Wasteland, dude, I will have it there. Indie Horror Cough IDS should air here. Dude, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Derek Carey, do it now. If you like this, IDS Rising is right there, but you need to watch all three. You really kind of do. I think they can stand alone a little bit, but yeah, if you can do all three. And honestly, man, you know, if anybody goes to incestdeathsquad.com and buys 1, 2, I always throw in, you know, at least 1 or 2 other movies too, because I'm just happy to you know, to have people supporting it and stuff. And I always throw in some stuff. So please go buy movies and I will sign them to whatever you want and ruin them. Bartsy7, cheesy. Was it a conscious effort on your part to keep the Wisconsin flavor? Green Bay glass, hat, Dahmer Geen, Elsie the cow, Elsie the cow, not Elsie McCain the cow. She's not a cow. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. I thought that said Elsie, and I thought Elsie McCain. No, that's not. It's Elsie the cow. Or did it just happen that way? When you shoot in Wisconsin, you can't avoid Packer logos, dairy products, Ed Gein, Jeff Dahmer. So it just happened. You know, all that stuff kind of happened. But I know that Tom, when he was shooting the scene, turned the glass. Tom's a Bears fan, by the way, but he turned the glass so that the big G logo was right there. And Meg, now you who is William Doggerbaugh, who did Sasha, who did a brilliant job on that. Famous line used during filming, damn it, Neil. I say damn it, Neil a lot. Neil is a menace. Yeah, the cow was on the ice cream bowl. Yeah. I found a bunch of old commercials and tried to put it in. But yeah, Elsie the cow. Yeah, funny. Derek Carey, what do you think of the horror drama with horror bloggers, podcasters that seem to be invading and tainting everything right now? I think they should all shut the fuck up, please. Just shut up. All of you. You're not important. Nobody cares. Creating your little drama. Just enjoy what you enjoy. Do what you do. And shut up. I think we're talking about like Eric Morse. You know, these guys. Stop. Just stop, dude. I mean, I sit back because I'm, you know, like I said, I'm stay-at-home dad. You know, I'm not, you know, and I hate to say this, but I'm not in a scene of any sort, but I'm really not. You know, it's like I talked to Derek and I talked to John Pata and I talked to Dustin Mills, you know, Beelzebub. I talked to these guys here and there, but, you know, for the most part, I'm not ingrained in it, but I sit back and watch it and it's also fucking absurd. You know, it's, you know, we're all in this together, man, you know, at the end of the day. So stop bitching and stop fighting, you know. I mean, I think people would be shocked to know who, you know, some people I consider friends are, you know, some people that aren't very popular with a lot of underground movie folks. But, you know, if somebody's great to me, I'm great to them. And I, you know, I appreciate it when I see something that's different. And I appreciate it when people aren't drama and irritating, you know what I mean? Just stop. Just get along. We're all in this together. Derek and I talked about this, and I just said flat out, you know, I'm a mark for, you know, the horror stuff and the exploitation stuff and, you know, Beelzebub's movies and Fred Vogel's movies and, you know, Dustin's movies and John Pata's movies and Derek's movies. And God damn it, just everybody. Turning into Lewis Black, getting angry at all of this nonsense that goes on. Just stop it. Grow up and get over it. And there's no other question, so I feel like I have to rant on this for a while longer. Come on, goddammit, give me some questions. Anyways, you know, like I said, the movie, The Girl Who Played with the Dead. Yeah, look at all my shit that's reflecting on this. Can I get a... There we go. Oh yeah, G. Edwin Taylor, the great George Edwin Taylor. I just touched the boob. G. Edwin Taylor, who is a magnificent artist, does a lot of horror artwork. Did the original cover for this. So please go check out gedwintaylor.com and all of his stuff, because he does amazing work. And look at that cover, man. I mean, am I shitting you? Wouldn't that look great on your shelf? You know, there's the spine and there's the back, you know, kissing girls and pentagrams. Come on. That's worth $13. What inspired this story, indie horror? Was it something you were sitting on for a while, or this was a quick write? Very quick write. I basically wanted to write a movie for Kristen Casey, who was the star of the movie, who played Lauren. And, you know, I was just kind of chatting, you know, throwing some ideas back and forth, and I came up with this idea. This was an idea that I had kind of rattling around in my head for a little while. It wasn't fully fleshed out and fully figured out, but it was an idea that I had for a little while. But yeah, I mean, I just, it kind of came out of nowhere. And, you know, I wrote it in a couple of weeks and went right into pre-production mode. And like I said, before I even had the script done, I put a release date on it, like an asshole. But I did it. But it was a pretty quick write. Yeah. It really, really was. It was fun. It was a short, you know, I mean, to write a movie, raise the money, edit, and then have the premiere tonight with you guys. You know, it was less than 6 months. That's fucking crazy, dude. I just want at least you're not in Sam Kinison mode. Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. Let me have a drink of diet soda for the working man, and I'll get the Sam Kinison. If you could steal any character in a movie, which one would you put in your movies? Oh boy, Indiana Jones or Captain Spaulding. Both of those I love. Steal any character. You know, I love the Jerry Reed character in the movie Gator. If you guys have never seen the movie Gator, you know, like late 70s, Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed. Just a fucking killer movie. And it's the thing with me that I love about the 70s movies is they would go from being like a comedy movie to, you know, like a seriously hard drama, fucked up thing, you know, at the drop of a dime. And that's kind of one of those movies, a sequel to White Lightning, which is another great movie. But yeah, Jerry Reed's character in Gator was just a scumbag. And he was great. He was great. Let's see. Tito asks, what do you think about Dustin Mills movies when he uses puppets? I love Dustin Mills movies, and Derek and I were actually just talking about this because I have the entire Dustin Mills collection on DVD. I haven't made it through all of them, Dustin. I apologize. But, you know, I think it's great. Easter Casket was fucking insanity. A lot of fun. And his new one, her name is Torment, is another... what a crazy, I mean, and that's the one thing that I think is so important about the underground guys and the indie guys is that we do things that Hollywood won't or can't do. And that's the beauty of what we do is we can get away with stuff. And, you know, it's basically, you know, what we want to do and what you guys want to see and what you guys will support. And he's a true underground maverick, and I love Dustin Mills, and I appreciate his support, and he will always have my support as well. You should package it with an alarm button on the outside. Dude, I really should. Do the want a date gimmick with the VHS. Wolfpack Leader, what movies did you look to and research for this movie? I'm sure there had to have been something that influenced this. Honestly, man, you know, I've been asked that before. You know, people say, you know, who are your influences? And, you know, I had actually the guy when I went to pick up the DVDs today, he goes, where do you come up with these movies? And I go, man, it's not one movie. It's 38 years, probably not 38, but, you know, probably like, you know, 28 years of watching crazy shit. Like, you know, Ted V. Michaels movies, Herschel Gordon Lewis movies, El Santo, Lucha Libre movies, Zombie Lake, Frank Henenlotter movies. You know, it's just... you know, that many years of seeking these crazy movies out and, you know, subconsciously Charles Band movies, Lloyd Kaufman movies, Troma movies, Full Moon movies, all of that stuff, man, all of it influenced me. So it all goes in to these movies. But with the alarm that goes off, the, you know, when the lesbians are going to make out, That came directly from Boarding House, the VHS movie Boarding House. I stole it directly. I really wanted to do something like that. So that's where that came from. Let's see. So a lot of Dustin Mills love in here, which is a good thing. The cover's so controversial, Facebook censored it. Yeah, the cover of our movie got me kicked off Facebook. Fuck them. Skinless is phenomenal. Haven't watched Skinless yet, but I will. Wild SMF, sick motherfucker, I hope that stands for. How was your experience with Indiegogo? Would you go through them again? Yeah, I've used them a couple of times. This was my most successful, and this is, how small I make these movies. We had $2,700 that we raised, which was huge, and it was the biggest amount of money I've raised that way so far. Indiegogo takes a little bit of a cut, but they're very cut and dry, very turnkey. And I would absolutely, when we do some fundraising again, I will absolutely use Indiegogo. And I would urge anybody who's trying to make any sort of movie on any budget, any level, to use Indiegogo. It's very easy to use. I saw Bath Salt Zombies on here, Rob, says LP Dan Fall. And I saw Bath Salt Zombies. I rented it from somewhere. Barking Cart wants to know, do you write down your dreams before you forget them and then use some part of it in your movies? No, I'm actually, because I have a 1-year-old, I don't sleep enough to dream. Before that, I would remember basically everything. I was never a guy that kept a pad of paper next to his, bedside. But for me, it's always, it's a little news story, or it's something that pisses me off, or, it's always something like social, political, that just aggravates the hell out of me. And then I write a movie about it, normally. But yeah, no, dreams, I don't know. Normally my dreams consist of me being at the mall with no pants on. So I know nobody wants to see that movie. Derek probably, Bark, the movie man, probably does. Bath Salt's the musical. Let's see. I drive a shitty car. When your little girl is old enough, would you let her watch horror? And which movie would you show her first? And that's part one. Yeah, absolutely. I grew up on that stuff. I grew up on professional wrestling and heavy metal music and horror movies. And the big one for me was Commander USA's groovy movies that was always on. I watched it with my grandma. You're talking like 10, 11, 12 years old. So yeah, I would. The first one I'd make her watch would be Night of the Living Dead, I think. Terrified me from the get-go. So yeah, might as well warp her from the beginning. But no, we've actually watched a lot of El Santo movies recently, and we've watched a lot of Godzilla movies, and some 50s sci-fi movies and stuff. She doesn't give a shit. It doesn't have Elmo on it, so she doesn't care. I Drive a Shitty Car says, by the way, I love the hell out of your film. I wish I could use the Girls Making Out song as one of my ringers on my phone. Send me a message on Facebook. I'll get you the MP3 so that you can do that. Wild SMF says, will the next movie have any songs from the Motley Crue country album on it? Fuck Motley Crue, man. How dare you? Country cover album. It's embarrassing. No, I've divorced Motley Crue. Motley Crue lives in 1985 in my mind, and that's it. Derek Carey, Vinnie Vincent wants to see that movie of you pantsless. Vinnie, I'll wear the shirt and no pants. Probably same as me. Start with the slash, go to the harder stuff. IDS, the musical. Talk to Greg Johnson. Indie horror, original Night of the Living Dead or Night of the Living Dead 90. Original Night of the Living Dead is the greatest horror movie ever made, period. There's no arguments. It's that and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that's it. No movie has ruled that hard since then. Night of the Living Dead 90, I enjoyed. I saw that in the theater with my dad. He took me, so I would have been 14. So probably uncomfortable, but yeah, I did. I saw it in the theater. And I love Tom Savini, and it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool, but dude, the original Night of the Living Dead's the greatest horror movie ever made, period. Wolfpack Leader, this is a question I always asked when I was a child going to the video store. The wrestling section was right behind the horror section. From what I heard, it was like that for a lot of people. Is this why a lot of people who love horror also love pro wrestling and vice versa? It must be. There was a place and Derek knows this, there was a place in Eau Claire, Wisconsin on Claremont Avenue. I can't remember the name of the strip mall, but it was Video Eye Video. And they had a huge selection of the WWF Coliseum home video. And not far from it was the horror section. And they were, this video store was infamous for having Mondo Connie, Faces of Death, which we referenced in the movie, Executions, all that shit. So, every time I would go in there, it would be, let's get Faces of Death and let's get bloopers, bleeps, and body slams. So, yeah, probably, man. I think, and I talked a little bit online about the potential for the Lucha Libre movie, and I think it's just, horror, Lucha Libre, surf music, metal music. I think it just all goes hand in hand. I don't know why. I have no idea. Indie Horse says, kids don't watch black and white anymore. They're jerk faces. It's their parents' fault, man. Period. Phantasm was a movie saw as a teen, scared the hell out of me. Yeah, Phantasm is great stuff. Metro 2001, one of my all-time favorite endings for a horror movie was Sleepaway Camp. What do you think of that movie? Great stuff, man. Now we're at a time where everything is a throwback to that stuff, whereas that's an originator, of that sort of thing. When that giant, hairy wiener and pubes are hanging out at the end of that, I watched that. I don't even know how old I was. I couldn't have been very old when I saw that. And I was just like, what's going on? So that one probably fucked me up pretty good. Yeah. Let's see. We're in that same combo. Music too. A lot of us like heavy metal, classic rock. Yeah, dude. And a lot of us like Kiss, and bands that do the theatrical stuff. Alice Cooper, Kiss, Marilyn Manson, Ghost, Guar, the Lordy, all that stuff. So yeah, I think it all just kind of goes hand in hand, Why? I don't know. I think we're all just fucked up, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Don't see that kind of stuff anymore. Originality, and now everything is so fucking sanitized, to a point where even in the horror world, and I won't name names, but everybody's got an image and everybody's got a gimmick and everybody's working everybody. And the biggest problem is I've always said, that I am first and foremost just a fan of this stuff. And it bums me out when I don't see enough stuff that I can enjoy and be a fan of. So when I go to Wasteland, I'm freaking out when I'm going to Bill's Zabub's table and Fred's table and, all these guys, because these guys are larger than life. These are the guys I love. And I go to the VHS guy and all this stuff, and I'm freaking out. I'm just a fan. And I don't think anybody's a bigger mark for this stuff than Derek Carey, who bought a Deadly Parade t-shirt that he still wears. And that's a mark, boy. Yeah, we're just fans of this stuff. And, I forgot my point. I told Rob I would do that too. Was there any directors who influenced you to make films or influence your style more than others? The guy that really influenced me was Ted V. Michaels. I saw him on the Incredibly Strange Film Show back when I was a kid. And he was it. That was the guy, him and Herschel, back in the day. And as I, went along and started to learn who these people were that made the movies that I loved, the men behind the madness, Lloyd Kaufman became another guy. And when I had Incest Death Squad, I had the script. It was originally titled Moonshine. And I'd been sitting on it for years and years. This must have been 2007, winter of 2007. And I went to the Troma website, and Lloyd had a little blurb up on there that said, Troma looking for its next feature film script, blah, blah, blah. And I had this script, and I said, I know that Lloyd will love this. I got to send it. But I couldn't send it in with the name Moonshine because it's a piece of shit. So I called Bill Rebane, who you guys know from Giant Spider Invasion, Rana Legend of Shadow Lake. And I called him because I knew he knew Lloyd for a long time. And I said, Bill, I got this script. I said, I'm going to send it to Lloyd, but I can't send it with the name. And Bill says, what is this picture called? And what is it about? And I said, right now it's called Moonshine, and here's what it's about. Incestual brother and sister, blah, blah, blah. He said, you call that the Incest Death Squad? And I said, okay, great, will do. And I sent it to Lloyd, and Lloyd called me on the phone like a month or two later and said, Cory, it's great, I love it. We don't have $1 million to make whatever movie we want, but stick with it. I met him a few months later. He said, make your own damn movie. He said, if you do it, I'll come and I'll be in it for free. And he stayed close to his word, and Lloyd's been a big supporter of mine, and I owe Lloyd a major debt of gratitude for that. He's a beautiful man and a true inspiration to, I think, everyone who's made independent film or loves independent film. Lloyd's a martyr, and he showed up in this, and he actually asked to be in this, which is even weirder. But But yeah, Trauma really influenced Incest Death Squad 1. I tried to get away from that in Incest Death Squad 2. But yeah, I think Ted V. Michaels is my biggest influence. I love Ted. I love all of Ted's movies, and I always wanted to be that director. Ted made movies like The Black Klansman, and he made Doll Squad, and he made War Cat, and he made Mission Kill Fast, and Demon Haunt, and Astro Zombies, Corpse Grinder. The list goes on and on and on and on. He's made everything, and that's the kind of guy I can only hope to be, aspire to be. LP Danfall says, have you ever been met with really bad negativity from press or internet scumbags? I got the worst review from Fangoria for Incest Death Squad 1 from a guy named Jack Bennett, who I've gotten to know, and Jack and I are friends now. But Jack just fucking laid into me on Incest Death Squad 1, and it was about a week before I was going to make Incest Death Squad 2, so I was, you wind up second-guessing yourself, You got to get to a point where you don't let any of it really bug you. Of course, it pisses you off, and you just kind of look at people, and hopefully you're able to go, what the fuck, who are you? Who cares? And I'm to that point now. I just don't give a shit. I don't read a lot of stuff and whatever else. But yeah, I've had a lot of dumb shits, mostly people that have, not even so much reviews. I mean, the underground guys, always kind of get it, man. But, a guy like me, when I try to cross over into something, whether that be a Rue Morgue or a Fango or, Bloody Disgusting or something like that, that's when I get shit on. And I don't want that stuff anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, it used to affect me, but now I couldn't give a fuck at all. I really don't. I'm too tired. Laughing Bones, do you think that horror is going to turn back to the creature feature since the real world stuff, stabbings, shootings, etc. is becoming so scary? I don't know. I hope so. What I've always hoped is that the horror stuff kind of goes back to the Hammer stuff and the, big gothic Universal movies and, and things like that. Because some of the shit that comes out now, I can't actually watch a lot of modern horror because it just gives me anxiety. Like, it's the lighting or the pacing or the editing or something in it, but it just makes me sick to my stomach, and I can't watch it. It makes me anxious, not in a good way, not in the way it's intended to. So, I haven't really watched anything. I think the last, Hollywood horror type major budget horror movie I saw was Evil Dead, the remake, and I liked it. Derek Carey hated it. I think Derek had an aneurysm bitching about it, but I didn't mind it. It was, it was seizure inducing, but it was fine. Movie Maniac 3D, what would be your recommendation to someone who may want to start making horror films? Just do it, and don't make an homage movie, for the love of God. Don't make a throwback movie. Don't make a funny, ironic movie. Just make your movie. Who are you? What do you stand for? Block everything else out. Don't say, this is Night of the Living Dead meets, Virgin Spring. Nobody wants that. Don't do that. Live in your own brain. Do your own thing. Don't do a throwback, and don't make a movie that you think will get you press and make you a star. If you want to make a horror movie, just do it and be real and trust your gut. Period. Real question, Bruce Kulick or Vinnie Vincent? Fuck. Oh, Bruce Kulick or Vinnie Vincent. Man. I'm going to go Vinnie Vincent. Bruce was a great guitar player, serviceable guy, but Vinnie reinvented Kiss. Fell off the face of the earth, and he's just so weird. And Bruce is playing with, who's he with now? Grand Funk. I'm going Vinnie Vincent, man, just because he's a weirdo. Yeah, Vinnie the Imp, dude, making a T-shirt. How do you like Hitchcock movies? Although most are not really horror, Rope was one of my favorites. Admittedly, I haven't seen a ton of Hitchcock stuff. I've seen some of his older stuff, and of course, Rear Window and North by Northwest and Psycho and stuff. I like Hitchcock movies. Yeah. No, they're not really horror, but some of my favorite movies aren't really horror. One of my favorite directors of all time is Frank Capra, which I think will be shocking to people, but and John Hughes. Those are directors that I absolutely love because it's character and dialogue, and that's huge for me. Other than Jaws, what is your favorite shark movie? Oh my God, what friggin' shark movies have I seen? God, I don't know, dude. Jaws, Jaws 3 in 3D with Bess, was it Bess Armstrong and Randy Quaid or Dennis Quaid? Yeah, I like that one. That's my favorite shark movie. Wolfpack Leader says, "What's your best experience in working with Lloyd? He's such an amazing and awesome person, very cordial, very funny." Um, Best experience working with Lloyd. I shot some footage for a documentary that I never put out called "Made My Own Damn Movie, Lived to Tell About It." And I was in Lloyd's hotel room and he was under the covers. And at one point, this footage still exists. At one point, to wrap it up, I got under the covers with him and faked like I was pleasuring him. And yeah, that's probably it. But any experience I've ever had with Lloyd is transcendent because Lloyd is a beautiful man, and I love him very much, and I love everything he does. And Return to Nukem High, you know, it's hard for me not to say that's the greatest Troma movie of all time. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. Sharknado, nah, dude. I made it 15 minutes of that. I can't take it. Indie horror, for the most part, mainstream horror press are a bunch of big studio, and it's blocked out fucks, I'm going to say, who ignore or slander the indie scene unless they're attractive women out front promoting the movie. Amen, man. That's all it is. I mean, unless it's pretty to look at, which I am. No, but you know, it's all image. It's all sizzle, man. You know, I mean, it's the same way that you see people go on The Voice and American Idol and stuff like that, and they think that's how you become a recording artist, a touring musician, and it's not. That's bullshit. The same way you don't become a filmmaker by dressing up in costumes and taking sexy pictures. It's not a filmmaker, man. You go out and make movies, and you do this at the expense of your sanity, your sleep, your bank account, your relationships, your free time. You do it because you're obsessed with it. And that's me. my wife, a lucky lady, really dislikes Sharknado. High hopes it has, just not my thing. I think we're all tired of modern horror. See how many fucked up deaths we can put in. Yeah, dude. There's character for me has always been a big thing. I don't have a lot of money to make these movies, so if I don't have characters and a good script, I got nothing. Shallow, New F, Modern Horror Rebounding, Insidious, Conjuring, few films coming out. But the thing that those have too is that they're kind of going back to not gutting people on screen. They're kind of going back to a little more story, a little more atmosphere, and that's a good thing. I have no problem with that. Grand Funk, one of my favorite bands is Blood Rock. They sabotage their career. Jim Rutledge, okay, yeah, dude, Wolfpack, yeah. I think you'll ever catch an LA Kiss Arena football game. I can only be so lucky, and I hope Kiss with the two other guys, Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer. I hope they're playing there that night so I can hear Paul Stanley's blown out voice one last time. Jaws 3 even got the soundtrack on vinyl. Wild SMF, I saw that in the theater, man, 3D. I remember the leg coming out in 3D. If you could be offered to take the charge of the next movie of any big budget film series, what would you pick? Wow. Huh. Big budget film series. What would you pick? Shit, dude. I'd like to, I don't even know. Iron Man. How about that? I would take Iron Man. That would be killer. Iron Man or Batman. I'd like to take Batman. Blocked it when I said cocksuckers, yeah. Apparently the censors like me. More censors equal fuckers. Is for the one with the banana boat in Jamaica. I believe it is. Not positive. 3's the one at SeaWorld or whatever. Diet soda. But, yeah, while we have a little lull in questions and shit, I appreciate you guys tuning in, watching the movie and stuff. Like I said, we've got the DVDs available. All the movies are available at incestdeathsquad.com. Find me on Facebook. Hit me up there. But yeah, please buy these damn DVDs. I don't want to sit on them. And if nothing else, I'll see everybody at Wasteland in October with Derek Carey and the great Blade Braxton, who, of course, starred as the dandy Satan in this one. We'll be at Wasteland, dude. So please stop by. It's Bills Above, Angelina Lee, all of our friends, Fred Vogel. It's a great convention. It's the real thing, man. So if you guys are indie horror fans, trust me, we drive 8.5, 9 hours to get there. And it is definitely worth it for us to go there. So hopefully we'll have we'll have a screening of Hole in the Wall, the new anthology from Derek Carey and so many other talented people. Carolyn Baker, Screaming Like Banshees. Greg Johnson did a short for that one. And Girl Who Played with the Dead. Hopefully we'll be there. The hot pink, what the hell is it? I keep forgetting where the hell I put it, but look at that. Come on. They're still talking about Jaws 4. Metro 2001, just want to say, Cory, you're a chill dude. I'll definitely check out your movies. Metro, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, definitely check them out. Like I say, anybody that orders anything from me on the websites, I always toss in some shit in there. So Bartsy7 with the latest news story in Wisconsin Slenderman. Imagine the twist you could put on that story. I love the satanic panic that's going on. It's been a while since the media's had a false devil to blame children doing shitty things on. Has nothing to do with neglect or ignored existing mental problems. It's a website and a fake ghost man or Marilyn Manson or Twisted Sister or somebody that made Judas Priest records backwards that made kids murder their friend in the woods. So yeah, I would love to do that. Wolfpack Leader says, Cory, I love this Q&A. Learned a lot. It's nice to hang with fellow horror buffs. Thanks again for tonight. Hope to hang with you guys again. Wolfpack Leader, man, I appreciate it. So much. Yeah, it was fun, dude. I wasn't too sure about this. I don't do a lot of this stuff, so I'm kind of a recluse for the most part, making these weird little movies. But yeah, dude, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. My dog just actually woke up, and he wanted to say hello. Miami Gal says, thanks, Cory, for this. Very interesting. Check out more movies that you all mentioned. And Miami Gal, Tom Lodwick stars in all of my movies. Tom has been very kind to me. And Tom is a big time actor, and now he's a musician. Denim and Leather, the band Denim and Leather. He's doing that now. He's a rock and roll singer, man, and he's killer. So yeah, check him out, please. IncestDeathSquad.com. Make sure you're not a stranger. Can't wait till the next appearance. Rob, I appreciate it, dude. This was fucking huge. This was great for me, and hopefully a lot of people saw the movie, got turned on to things, and check out the website. There's a lot of dirty pictures and fun going on there. And Shallow New F says, yeah, the flick was awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, but thank you for your time and letting me do this, man. This was fun. You're interrupting my soda drinking. Damn it. Anybody got one more question? If not, I think we're done. Bartsy, Cory, thanks for the experience. Thank you, hon, for tuning in. I appreciate that. It means a lot. It does mean a lot, because I make these movies, and you're here in my office right now. You're looking at where everything goes on. I live in this office, and I make these movies, and I don't have any outside influence. I have no investors. I don't have distribution. So I just basically live my reclusive lifestyle and make these strange little movies and hope people care, and you guys care, and you like me. You liked it. Yeah, please buy some DVDs, man. I got some VHS, T-shirts, all kinds of shit on that website. And before I go, somebody wanted to make an appearance here before we leave. Yes, my good friend Toxie wanted to stop by and say, "You gonna drink that tea, boy? Give me that tea. You ain't gonna drink that." So there you go. My sweetheart, Toxie, is here with me and wanted to say thank you so much for watching The Girl Who Played with the Dead, starring my daddy, Lloyd Kaufman. Shit just got really weird. Dustin, you can use this thing if you want for a movie. Just get Lloyd's permission to use this. I have Kabuki Man up on the shelf, but I don't want to waste your time and get Kabuki Man. It was given to these by Vincent, who was a friend of Lloyd. These are actually the real thing. They're the convention-worn Toxie, and it smells like it too. It's pretty gnarly, but how badass is this thing, dude? Right? That's my office. I have a Ginger Dead Man and RoboCop shit. So yeah, the only superhero from New Jersey you'd want to brag about being from here, right? Well, our superhero from Wisconsin is Jeffrey Dahmer and Ed Gein, so it's a Not really a superhero. Not really superpowers. But yeah. Jesus, I just spilled everything. But all right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if you guys got anything else to say. If not, like I said, super appreciate it. And the DVD, Girl Who Played with the Dead. There we go. Hot pink, man. Check that out. There's girls on the back and blood, pentagrams, skulls. Wow. Shannon was good too. Yeah. Shannon is, the thing with Shannon Lark is that Shannon was in my movie Mediatrix. And when I was doing that script, Paula wrote that script. Paula DeBerkson wrote that script. And when I was doing it, I was talking to Debbie Rochon about being the Virgin Mary in that movie, which would have been fucking ridiculously amazing. But, it was like a scheduling thing. It wasn't anybody's fault. And I love her, and I still want to get her in something someday. But it wasn't able to happen. So Shannon Lark came in and played the Virgin Mary, and it was amazing. And Shannon has been a big supporter of mine, and to have Shannon Lark come in and do, my movies and always be up for it is huge. She's a huge star, and she's, I absolutely despise, having to say women in horror. She's not just women in horror. She is an amazing writer, director, actor, force in horror and indie cinema. And the same with Laurie Bowen. And if you guys get a chance, if it's coming to a convention or something near you, I Am Monster from Shannon and Laurie is amazing. So find that on Facebook too and check that thing out, because I know they're working the scene around and stuff. So if you get a chance to check that out, it's pretty amazing. But yeah, Shannon is always up for coming and playing in my movies and stuff, and it's huge. I mean, you guys saw the scenes, she's absolutely amazing, and I love her so much. I wish I could just adopt her and keep her here, but she's moving and shaking. So Derek says I Am Monster is fucking barn burn. Dude, it is. It's there's a lot of movies that get made, that get put out and get a lot of hype, and it's not deserved. It's because of favoritism and playing the scene and keeping up appearances and image and a lot of things that are just bullshit. I Am Monster from Laurie and Shannon is not bullshit. Laurie's not bullshit. Shannon's not bullshit. That's a real article. So I really, really, urge you guys to check that out. Check that out. And, and support guys like Bill Zabub with Scienceless Fiction and Disgruntled Employee. And, of course, God, who else? Who do I want to throw out to? John Pata, Derek Carey, Screaming Like Banshees. God damn it, who am I leaving out a hole in the wall, man? Me. Fred Vogel, of course. Dustin Mills. There's a lot of guys making a lot of really cool stuff, man. So, please support us and don't. Scienceless Fiction will change your fucking life. There's no question about it. We were at Wasteland last time when it premiered, and Greg Johnson, who did a short for Hole in the Wall, which is brilliant. But Scienceless Fiction, we were at the premiere. It was like 1:00 in the morning, and we were a little tired. We'd had a couple of Dr. Peppers. Tanya Atomic, Dustin Mills, yeah, of course, Tanya Atomic, brilliant, amazing. Mark Mackner is another one, doing some really cool stuff. But we were there at Scienceless Fiction, and I'll be honest, we were fucked up. And it was too much for my brain, man. I had to leave, so I had to go back and order it from Bill, and I watched it with Blade, and we had a good time, man. It's a game changer. Jason Paul Collum, who did the October Moon, November Sun, who's working on Safe Inside, and I think Safe Inside's almost done. Jason Paul Collum is a brilliant filmmaker. Bartsy says, again, applause. Great job. Good night. Love you. Thank you so much. for tuning in. Yeah, there's a lot of guys to support. Yeah, a lot of the drugs that enter the state come from there. No shit. Not that I would know anything about that. Like I said, we had a couple of mineral waters, and and that's it. Miami Gal says ditto. Thank you so much. It means a lot. So I don't know. I don't know if we have any other questions, but yeah, this was cool, man. Like I said, Rob got in touch with me, and it was just good timing. Because when you make a movie like this, it's to go rent a theater or do something like that is counterproductive. I mean, I could spend $400 to rent a theater, and who's going to show up? I mean, I maybe make $20 back, and for that sort of money, I could almost make another goddamn movie. So it didn't make any sense, but this was a cool way to do this. So, I appreciate you guys doing this. I know, I more know because I know some of the detectives in the Elizabeth Police Department. There's a lot here that doesn't hit the news. Oh, I bet. There's a lot up here that doesn't hit the news. A lot of cornholing. Bunch of crap. Ditto applause. Excellent time. Miami Gal. Keep sticking to your guns. Good for you to be such a supportive dad and husband to your family. Oh, yeah. That's, that's the important stuff. That's why Daddy didn't sleep for a couple of months, because he made sure doggy was walked and baby was happy and wife was in bed and everybody was comfortable before he came down here and worked on this crazy ass movie. So I'm still not sleeping, but I'm hopefully coming around to the point where I can start getting some sleep. So yeah, Wolfpack leader. Oh yeah. The funny story that that I tell about being at Wasteland is. It was Saturday night, and it was fucking insane. It was a lobby, and I won't go into it, but it was a lot of shit going on. And I went up to one of the officers that was there, and I said, this has got to be the craziest fucking crowd you guys deal with all year. And he goes, no, man. He goes, that Brony convention that was here, whatever it was, he said they basically trashed this entire place. He said they had to repaint rooms and shit. So the Bronies and their ecstasy are much worse than Bill Zabub and his Budweiser and us with our Kraken rum at at Cinema Wasteland. Lobby's where it's at. Yeah, I was taking selfies with Bill Zabub and Ellie Church, who was a genius, brilliant. Love her so much. And she was kind enough to be in the movie. Of course, you guys saw. Yeah, the lobby's where it's at, man. For real. You can find Rape Dungeon in the lobby. Right, Derek? Find Rape Dungeon. He has a bong, a beer bong that you can have some Keystone out of. Tell him we sent you. Give us your outro. All right, dudes. Thank you guys so much. I mean, I really appreciate this. Keep supporting the underground. And please, go buy my movies. IncestDeathSquad.com. So hopefully we can do this again, man. But thank you guys so much for your kind words and hanging in there and the great questions and stuff. I love you all. Find me on Facebook and go to the website. That's it. Support the underground. Who wants to be lonely? All night.